Hello, everyone. My name is Cheryl Klein, and this is My Contagious Life. If you're not familiar with what I do, I elevate women so that they can live their best life. So, a few weeks ago, I posted a blog called Be the Woman That Requires the Effort. If you haven't read it, I hope you do go read it. It was about me writing a letter to the women who had had relationships with my now ex-husband while we were married. It got huge feedback. I got messages from women who had been the other woman in a different story than mine, and they felt the need to apologize to me, which I told them there was no need to apologize to me. That was their own thing to heal from and to deal with. And then I had women who had been in my shoes and had been in a marriage where the husband had cheated on them. Some of them were still married, some of them have left the marriage, and they wanted to know how I got to a point of calmness. Well, that made me giggle because let me tell you, I had some very ugly, not proud moments. And so that's why I feel like I can talk to you and hopefully share my story of how I got to that point of calmness or healing or forgiving through all my ugliness. Anyway, and then there were the women who reached out to me saying that they couldn't relate to my story. They'd never had an issue in their marriage or relationships of infidelity, but they needed to forgive someone. And so they wanted to talk to me about how I was able to forgive. So for me, forgiveness is a hard thing to understand. It's a hard thing to describe how you know when you've forgiven someone, how to describe how to get to that point of forgiveness, or even what forgiveness means. For me, if you were today come to me and you snap at me or just cut me off, tomorrow you come and say you're sorry, I'm probably going to tell you I don't even know what you're talking about and don't remember, or I would say I've already forgiven you, because stuff like that is just water off a duck's back to me. Now, if you hurt my kids or my family, that's a different story. I have to go through the process of healing. I have to go through the process of forgiveness. So for me, when it came to forgiving my ex-husband, I felt like forgiving meant condoning his bad behavior. It felt like I was giving him the okay to hurt. I hated him. I had a burning in my stomach. It was like you could feel the acid just eating the inside of my stomach from the inside out. So I wanted him to feel the pain that I felt. And I mean, that was silly of me, but that's what I wanted. But I just felt that pain and hate. So I always thought that the opposite of love was hate. Well, it's not. And so I don't know if some of you know this, some of you don't. I am now married to a psychologist. I always tease that some women want to be married to a chef and some married to a hairstylist, some to a mechanic, but I need a psychologist. I always half joke that it was cheaper to get married to him than to pay for therapy every week. But anyway, he is a wonderful man, but he is the one that taught me that the opposite of love is not hate, and it's indifference. But we'll come back to that in a little bit. So let's first look at what forgiveness even means. So if you Google forgiveness, you're going to have people writing these big, flowery, doctored up meanings. But honestly, the best way to describe it is straight from the dictionary, and I'm going to read it so that I don't butcher it up. So it is, forgiveness means to stop feeling angry or resentful towards someone for an offense, flaw, or mistake. Let's listen to that one more time because I want you to notice the one thing that's missing from it. Forgiveness means to stop feeling angry or resentful towards someone for an offense, flaw, or mistake. Notice it does not say anything about condoning the person that hurt you, condoning their behavior. It's not saying if you forgive them, then it's going to take away that they did any wrong. It's not that. It's about you. It's about how you're feeling. So again, if you read my blogs, you'll know that I'm a huge words person. I can see words that just speak to me, whether it's in scripture, a book, a movie, music, a quote that's pinned on Pinterest, wherever. They speak to me, and then I kind of run with it. They inspire me, they motivate me. And so I remember reading a quote on Pinterest, and it's been attached to several different people, so I really don't know who said it. But it said, not forgiving is like drinking poison and waiting for the other person to die. That was me. That was totally me. I was guzzling that poison like nobody's business, and I'm dying, and he's nothing. He's not feeling a thing. So for me, I was just hurting myself. So okay, I've now recognized that what I was doing was hurting me. So now what I had to do is figure out what does to forgive look like. And let me tell you what. Let me tell you what. I don't think that you have to tell the person that you have forgiven them. I don't. In fact, I think it's a bad idea. Now, if you're having a healthy conversation and they're remorseful and they've asked for forgiveness and you have forgiven them and you want to tell them they're forgiven, that's a whole nother thing. But let's take my situation. If I'd have forgiven my ex-husband, gone over, knock on the door and say, I forgive you. One, he probably couldn't care less. He wasn't sitting there probably worrying if I'd forgiven him. And then also I think sometimes when people do that, they're looking for kind of to poke at the other person or to get some, look how good I am, I forgave them. So it's not for the right reasons. Again, it's for you. So then I had to make a choice. Did I even want to forgive? So for me, it was about moving on, not feeling sick, not feeling angry, not feeling resentful all the time, because it was just sickening to me. It really was hurting me. And if I wasn't my best, my kids weren't their best. So let me tell you, it wasn't an overnight thing. It was a huge, huge process. And I'm going to be honest that I lied to myself a lot of times. I would say I didn't care what he was doing. I didn't care what he had done. People would come from the outside and say, hey, I saw your ex-husband. I'd say, oh, that's nice. And then you could tell if they were wanting to provoke something in me. And I'd say, I don't care what he's doing. I did. I really did. Because I hadn't forgiven him. I hadn't moved past anything. So I just kind of kept lying to myself a little bit. But I took care of myself. I took care of my kids. I was living, I was laughing, I was trying to enjoy life the best I could. I was surrounding myself with people that I love who love me back, my friends, my family. I was getting involved in church. I was working. I was doing anything that I could to keep myself busy. So then how did I know when I hit that point of forgiveness? Like I kept thinking there had to be a big old stamp of, you've forgiven him. And so for me, we have to go back to remember the opposite of love is not hate, it's indifference. So again, I'm going to go to the good old dictionary and read to you what indifference means. So the definition of indifference is lack of interest, concern, or sympathy. That is how I knew that I had forgiven. He could no longer provoke any emotion in me anymore. I didn't think about what he was doing. I didn't care what he was doing. I didn't want him to feel my pain anymore. And let's just be honest. Let's say there was this little magic fairy that could drop over there and go, boom, you're going to feel the pain that you've caused her. I'm not all of a sudden feeling no pain. We've got two people. I know some of you are going, yep, I'd feel better. No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. There's two people hurting now. And if it's a situation like mine where there are kids involved, he would be hurting, I would be hurting, the kids would be hurting, and we'd be having a big old hurt puddle. So that's not good for anyone. I have a couple of people that I know. I was not around when they got divorced. It's been 15 years, and they share custody of their kids. They're both, for the most part, they are both great parents. They are successful in their own businesses, and they both married other people who were not even around during their marriage or their divorce. And she cannot it's not a letting go. She cannot stop trying to make him unhappy or stop trying to hurt him. It's sucking the joy out of her life. She is not living the best life that she can live. And the only way that she can reach him is through the kids. So not only is she just taking away her own joy and not living her best life, she's hurting her relationship with her own kids. Y'all, this is not okay. Don't do this. Do not keep hurting yourself hoping the other person feels the pain. They do not. You're not that powerful. And they don't even care. Now let me tell you that when you get to the point of letting go and the forgiveness, it is such a feeling, a freeing feeling. And you feel so much healthier and happier when you decide to let go and to forgive. So let's go over this. So one, you're going to have to acknowledge, yes, I have not forgiven yet. And you can usually feel it by inside of you, whether it's just a sickening feeling. It evokes, when you hear their name or think about the whole situation, it evokes anger or hatred or anything like that. So you know what it's making you feel. You know that you're needing to forgive. 2, you're going to have to make a choice that you want to forgive. That's you, and only you can do that. You have to make a choice. 3, you are going to get busy living life to the best of your ability, and you are going to create this healthy, happy life for yourself, being the best that you can be. You are going to work, you're going to go to church, you're going to be active in church, your kids' school, with your friends. You're gonna do things that in a hobby that you love to do. You're gonna find a new hobby. Okay, back it up. Let's go. A healthy hobby. I don't want y'all to get into something and then go, well, Cheryl said that I should do. No, I'm not telling y'all to go start drinking to substitute the other pain. That's not what I'm saying. Healthy hobby. So you're gonna take it. You're gonna just be busy living life so that you aren't even thinking about it. And then 4, you're going to wake up one day and go, I did not think about that person as soon as I woke up. And I didn't think about that person when I went to bed last night. And you know what? Now that I'm thinking about them, it's not making me sick. I'm not getting angry. And you're going to realize that you have forgiven them. Now, let me tell you, it will be a process. There are going to be days where you think that you're there, and then you're going to go, not quite. Kind of got a little something in there. And then you're just going to get busier, living and loving life. And my hope for you is that you're able to let go and you are able to live your absolutely best life that you can live. Talk to you next time.